Are you frustrated because your team isn't doing what you want them to do? They're just not getting it, right? Are you having those feelings? If so, stay tuned because that is what we are talking about today. How to free up that miscommunication, that frustration, so we can have clear expectations and be one-on-one with our team and our clients. Welcome everyone to Coffee Chat with Dani. We are here with episode number 23. And I'm excited to talk to you today about this particular topic. This is something that I find we tend to steer away from, but it really does help when we're working with a team or working with clients or customers. Really, it is setting expectations. For those of you that are new to Coffee Chat, we talk about tips, tools, and inspiration to help you develop yourself to become the best possible business owner that you can be, because when that happens, your business skyrockets and you take it to the next level. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dani. I am a performance improvement consultant. So what does that mean? Well, what that means and how I kind of view it is I'm kind of like, you know how sports athletes have a coach that they kind of work with as they're developing their skills and really honing their craft, whether that's at the amateur level or at the professional level? Well, that's what I do for small businesses and entrepreneurs. I help you develop the skills and talents that are already inside you, that are waiting to shine out into this world and help you grow your business. So let's take a moment right now. If you guys have a team, I want to know. Let me know if you have a team or if you're building a team. Let me know down below if you either have one or you're building one. And if you want to tell me how many, that'd be a nice little bonus too. I want to know, maybe is this something that frustrates you? Do you find yourself thinking, why are they not doing it? What's going on in their heads? Why are they, I'm asking for this, right? Or if you have clients that are frustrating you, right? That, you told them you'd offer them email support, but they're emailing you 10 times a day, and it's like they're still dragging all of your attention. Have you had that happen? Let me know, because I know I have definitely had that happen. And what I found is it's setting some clear expectations. If you know somebody that is struggling with this or has a team, let them know below, share this out with them, tell them to come join us and to watch this, tag them below. All right. So one of the things that tends to happen is we get this miscommunication when we don't set clear expectations, right? Or we get frustrated, right? And they start getting stressful, and then they become the client that we hate. They're like, I don't want to, you see the email pop in or you see the text message and you're like, oh my God, do I have to deal with that, right? Like, I don't want to feel that way about my clients. I'm sure you don't want to feel that way about your clients or even your team, right? You don't want to, see that text message from them and be frustrated. So setting clear expectations is really what eliminates all of that. Believe it or not. It may not eliminate it 100%, but it does eliminate most of it, okay? So think about this. For those of you that have kids, I know many of you do. If you told your child, I've dealt with this myself, to clean their room. So 3 hours later, you would assume that their room would be cleaned, and you would assume that it was to how you thought it should be, right? So what happens? You go in, and the room isn't clean. Or the bed's made, but there's still some other stuff happening over here. Or there's trash all over the place. Or it appears to be clean, let me say, but And you open the closet or you peek under the bed, and what happens? There's stuff, right? It's like they just shoved it in the closet hoping that you wouldn't discover it, right? Well, you get frustrated because they didn't clean their room, and they're frustrated because they did clean their room, right? Well, setting clear expectations, even when it's with your children, helps alleviate that frustration. Now, if I were to tell her, hey, in the next hour, make sure you clean your room, and that entails putting your clothes away in the drawer, hanging them up, making your bed, picking up all your trash, and vacuuming. Now I've set some kind of guidelines for her to say, okay, this is what I mean when I say clean your room, and this is the time frame that I'm saying that I'd like it to get done. Now, I like to give a little bit of leeway, so I said within an hour, so you don't have to jump on it right now, but this is the expectation that I'm setting. I'm setting it for this hour, okay? So that is a way for now, when I go in an hour and I take a look at her room, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see what I expected. Hopefully. No, most of the time, I would say probably 99% of the time, it's exactly what I've asked for, right? Because I've told her this is what I want. It's the same thing whether you're dealing with your team, whether you're dealing with your clients, it's the same exact thing. So if I were to tell my clients, hey, I offer email support, 24 hours a day. So they would anticipate, or the perception could be that I'm available 24 hours a day. The perception could be that I'm going to answer their email, right? When they think I should answer their email. But that may not be what I've thought of when I say email support. So it's nice to be, when you're having your calls, when you're sitting down and setting some, guidelines with your clients or team for that matter. You want to say, hey, when I say email support, this is what I mean by email support. Email support means I will answer you within 24 hours of receipt of that email. Okay, so then that gives me a little bit of flexibility to answer it immediately or to answer it when I check my email. I'm not one that checks my email every 5 minutes. I have certain times throughout my day that I check my email. So if I tell a client I'll answer your email within 24 hours, I know that I can fall within that time frame. If the last time I probably checked my email is around 6 or 7 o'clock, and then I don't check it until the next morning after I've kind of done all my morning routine. So that could be a little bit over 12, 14 hours in some cases, right? So I give them a nice expectation of, you will hear from me within 24 hours, right? Another thing, so with your team, if you're expecting your team to hit certain sales goals a month, or if you're anticipating them to get some information to you, it's the same kind of thing. You want to set some clear expectations around what you're looking for. If I tell my team member, okay, I'm anticipating that you can hit this number for the month. Let's say it's $5,000 in sales for the month, right? I want you to hit $5,000 in sales in a month. That is the expectation, and I expect to hear from you at least once a week on where you are towards that goal, okay? So if I hadn't set any expectations at all, and it comes to the end of the month, and I'm like, hey, so where's your 5,000 in sales? How did you do? And they're like, oh, right, I forgot about that. Right? So then I'm going to get frustrated and maybe, stressed out because, they're not hitting the overall goal that I had for the team or that I had for, that month. And so that could be really frustrating for me. And then I'm going to try to take it out on them. They're going to be mad at me because, I didn't know that that's what you wanted. You see how this frustration and these expectations not being clear can happen. So I can say, hey, I want your goal for the month is $5,000 in sales. I can say that to them, but what does that actually look like, and how do I want that to be communicated to me, right? this is what I'm expecting. And the same thing goes for them, right? That's why it's really important. We talked about this yesterday. And so if you missed yesterday's coffee chat, go back and check it out. It is talking about the 3 things you must do to support your team. And one of those things is to have a conversation with them to, kind of set some guidelines around how you will support them. So if you know that this person is somebody that struggles, maybe you need to check in with them more often, right? And so maybe you do need to say, hey, twice a week on Monday and Friday, I want to hear, where you are, what you're doing, right? I want to hear, what activities you've done or how many people you've reached out to. If that's what you and your team member need, right? If that's the level of support they need. In some cases with our teams, we don't need to offer that much support. We still need to offer support. We always need to offer support to our team, but maybe it's not as frequent, right? Maybe I can check in with her once a month and say, hey, where are you? What have you done? And we're good because we have that type of, communication between us. Again, you can't cookie cutter everybody into one package, into one type of support. It's gotta work for both of you because we all work differently, right? We all learn differently. Wow, tongue twister. All right, let me check my notes. So if you, say you have somebody that is working for you, so say it's not necessarily you're in, like an MLM or direct sales, whatever you want to call it. If you're not in one of those, but you have a team. Maybe you have somebody that updates your social media, somebody that updates your website. Maybe you have an assistant that keeps you on track on what you're doing. Maybe you have these people who are kind of working with you and kind of supporting you in that way. That it's also important to set expectations with you, with them as to what you want to know and how you want that information to be communicated to and how you want it to be communicated. So if I were to tell my assistant, hey, I want you to update me, once a week on Monday at all the activities that I'm going to do for the week, right? If I told her that, then let's say she emails me or she texts me all these activities that I'm supposed to do. Well, that doesn't work for me. Getting the text messages doesn't work for me. Put it in an email format, put it on my calendar, bullet point it for me. That is what I would expect. That's what I like. That's how I can view it, right? So if I tell her, hey, once a week on Monday, send me an email with bullet points of all the activities that I have going on that week. That way I have a clear picture of what my week looks like. So now I'm communicating to her what I want and how I want it, right? Much easier that when I get it now, I'm like, oh, okay, got it, perfect, right? It's clear. The communication is clear between us. So she's not getting frustrated and I'm not getting frustrated. It's really, really beautifully done. All right. So I think that is it for today. If you have any questions about kind of how to go about doing that or maybe having that conversation if you haven't done that before, let me know. Reach out to me. It's one of the things I do and support all my clients in doing so. Hey, Miss Kaylee, is that you? Hi. I saw you pop up for a quick second with that thumbs up. So that is it for today. Your action item with feedback is take a look at some of the people that you are either working with, whether they're your clients, your customers, your team members, maybe somebody who is on your team and supporting you. Take a look at some of the expectations that you have set for them. If they're a little wishy-washy or you're not quite sure if it's clear, have a conversation. Sit down and have a conversation and let them know what the expectation is. All right, that is it for me today. I did want to say, if you haven't already, come join the Empowered Women Achieving Success. It's my free Facebook group. It's a lot of women in there getting to know each other, growing our businesses, supporting each other. These are like-minded women who are achieving success. So come on over and join us. You'll see the link up above or down below, depending on where you're watching this from. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow with another episode of Coffee Chat. Have a great day.